Alright, I'm going to put my 2 cents in on the Leatherman Free P4. I've had a couple of these early on after they first came out, and sold one, returned one. Still having issues with the player head freezing up with hard cuts, and wasn't enough for me to want to keep them with the problem, and I returned them. And trying it again, and so I've had this for a few days now, and so far the head is amazing, very smooth. Had some slightly hard tests, nothing crazy, but they seem to be holding up well. I mean, they're not freezing up. This one has pocket clip. Trying that. Used to always sheath carry my Wave, Surge, Bond, Victorinox, Spirit X. But I'm trying the pocket clip. I'm kind of liking it. It's kind of replacing my everyday carry clip folder, since it's the same system. It's a little heavy, like a Wave, Surge. They're heavier, but it's for the pocket. It's a little thick for the pocket, but compared to, say, my Benchmade Osborne, which is usually what I carry, so it's pretty thin. This is a little thick, but I always have so much stuff in my pockets that I guess it's not really that big of a deal. So far, pretty happy with it. I really like the player head. I like the blade. These two tools are great. Very thick. Work well. I don't really use I have all of the bit kits and all the other things, and I find that we all get into that stuff and think we need all these extra things, and then when you look at your daily life and your weekly life, and sometimes you kind of realize that all those extra things that you think you need all the time, you almost never use them. And it's just weighing you down. So I'm trying to carry some different things that are, I guess, in my life, my particular life, are a little more useful, and not carry things that I might need eventually, but almost never use them. I think it was Max Level EDC. Did a little mod on his pry bar screwdriver package opener, whatever they call this. Wasn't very sharp at the corner, at the edge, for piercing into things. So I did a little mod where I kind of sharpened it a little bit better, so it's a nice sharp corner, and a little bit sharper here, and a little bit thinner at the tip, for prying, for scraping, for piercing into box open, so you don't dull up your blade. So it's definitely working better now, but this is a good tool. I like this tool. I haven't done any mods with this for the ratchet driver and all the other adapter, because again, I'm trying to not carry as much sometimes. If you're going into a project where you're using stuff more, it makes more sense, but for my type of jobs I do in daily life, I don't need those things very often. I just need the basics. And yeah, every once in a while it's nice to have those, but they're few and far between, at least for me. I enjoy the scissors. The scissors are good. They work real nice. I'm a little surprised they didn't finish them out. If you notice, they don't go all the way to the end like everything else. I don't see any point in that. They could have made these scissors longer and have been a little bit better for cutting easily. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me why they didn't, but I mean, they're good scissors. They work good. They're nice. They're like the Surge, where you can just pop them out on the outside. But again, you give up stuff like the file. I kind of miss my file from the Wave, but again, I don't use my file that often. If I think about what I really use, this side here is what I really use. Main blade, Phillips, and this pry, flat. Even flats, think about it. All these flats, you don't run into flat or slotted screws very often anymore. So this is really more for prying, scraping, but it's a flat. And the scissors. These are the primary things, and then obviously the player head. Even wire cutters, I wouldn't have any problem going back to regular, non-replaceable. I'm not an electrician. I find I don't use wire cutters often and for anything crazy. So I think that player head will probably be strengthened not having this. And if you're a person with wire, working with wire all the time, it makes sense to be constantly replacing these because you wear them out because you're just working with tons of wire. But I guess at the same time, if you were a person who worked with wire a lot, you'd probably have a dedicated tool for that all the time. So I feel like on a multi-tool, the replaceables aren't as important. It's probably good for Leatherman, so they don't have to get so many returns. People will just buy these now. So I get it, but I think the player head loses strength with all that cutout metal. But again, I'm not trying to do anything super hard, even with the player head usually, so I'm not too worried about that. That's my main use. Pliers, knife, scissors, big tools on this side. Where'd it go? Yeah, these tools, okay, good saw. Not something I use a ton, but I do use it, somewhat frequently. Like having a separate serrated blade. I like the chisel and tip Tonto, which helps with the chisel there. I just think that's a good idea. I like that setup. So those are all good. So the only, my complaints are these. Like a lot of people, they should have left the Wave Surge style can opener. This is not the Swiss Army knife style, in my opinion, does not work as well actually as I like the pull cut on the Wave Surge style, Bond style, all those. I do not like this. I mean, it probably works. I haven't really used this one yet, but I've used Swiss Army ones before, and they're okay, but I think the other style actually works better for me. Plus, they could have left that wire stripper instead of the lousy one on here. This actually isn't terrible. I mean, I'm not doing tons of bushcraft. I'm not out in the woods all the time. I had to drill some holes, do some door work yesterday, my doors and some wood and this worked fine to start some pilot holes for screws, and that's kind of what it was for. I've used this on eyeglasses like once, and I mean it's alright, it's pretty good, but it's not the greatest all in the world, but it's passable for what I deal with anyways. It's the file again, small. I guess it's better that you have it than not. Small, kind of wish I had the diamond, but again, you're giving that up, for scissors. So I guess I do use the scissors way more than I ever use a file, but I do like the file on my Wave better. But again, you have to trade off sometimes. So the only tool that I would have completely 100% totally removed is this useless, dumb thing. That's totally useless. That's wire strip, totally useless. Flathead, one extra flathead, that's who cares. Could have made these tools thicker. Could have done something different in there. Made just the 3 tools and made them each a little more robust. Get rid of that dumb thing in the middle. Makes no sense. I mean, if they wanted to add some kind of ruler, they could have done it like the Wave Charge or the Wave Surge. They really could have. They could have gone from this corner to this corner, like that. They could have done something where you could put it down, hold up a screw, hold up something in here. They could have done something in there. They have a more usable, slightly more usable ruler. The one on that other thing, they call it a tread thing or a depth gauge. I don't know. I think that's a totally useless tool. They should have eliminated it and made these tools ever so slightly thicker, slightly more robust, or something. So that side's the much less used side. This is the main side of the tool. These things are the things that I think most people will pull out on a daily basis to use some of these. And then the pliers. These things are just kind of, and the serrated will get used somewhat, and the saw occasionally. And again, I don't think those are bad. It's just this set in the middle is way secondary. They're not tools that people are going to be using a lot. So I have found that I like it. I do enjoy it. Again, most of us adult men who have not grown up, like to play with these are fidget spinners instead of toys. Like you get old and you spend money on stuff like this, and that way you can say it's a tool, not a toy. But half the time you're just fidgeting with it. So it does have the nice, sorry, off camera here. The fidget factor is pretty cool. I do like the fidget factor. I do like as they like to call it, they're being fancy and modern with their haptics. I like that click. It's kind of a fun thing to do. But I feel like it's a good strong player head in respect of the way it's set up in here. This is bigger. Again, I just feel like they do lose a little bit with replaceables, which I know a lot of people love, but again, I almost prefer to not have them. So I'm enjoying this. I know it got a lot of bad reviews, and I had a lot of issues beginning, and mostly compounded by the fact that these pliers were so bad early on. At least the ones I had. I had two of them. Again, I've had before this. I just couldn't stand it, and I thought it was, idiotic that they were coming out like that, especially for the price. This thing should be, made of gold for this price. But, now that these are working good, and either they figured it out or, maybe just I got a pair that are working right. These work great, and so far I've been very happy. And so that's it. I just want to give you a review of the tool I've started using. It's recent, and it's definitely growing on me. I like it, and again, a little expensive, but when you're into multi-tools, I guess you spend what you got to spend. So, all right, thanks a lot.